Hi, I'm Madeline, a teacher at Yoga Community, and I'm going to be taking you through a Vinyasa Flow, Follow the Yogi, minimal instruction. So those that are familiar with the postures, don't worry, everything will not be in Sanskrit. And I'll give some modifications or variations. So just do what feels good in your body and be safe and remember to breathe. So getting started in a wide-legged child's pose here. Start to extend the arms forward, bringing the hips back, and connecting right to your third eye to the mat here. Start to take some big, deep, expansive inhales through your nose, and maybe some forceful exhales out your mouth. One more inhale, and exhale. Start to come into that Ujjayi, pranayama, victorious breath here. Allowing yourself to settle into the pose here. And then maybe start to make the pose a little more active, lifting up your forearms, your elbows, maybe tenting your fingers and feeling a lengthening through your side body. And pick up your torso, walk your hands over to the right. Pull back through that hip. And then come back to center, walking your hands over off your mat to the other side now. Feeling an opening through the side body here. And coming back through center, pause here. I invite you to set an intention for your practice. Intentions are like little prayers we sprinkle on our mat to add purpose and meaning behind the poses, behind the asanas. So what is it that you want to cultivate or manifest or need a little more of in your life right now? And know that child's pose is always available should you need to reset or come back to your breath. Coming up to tabletop on your hands and knees here. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tuck the toes, and begin to move through your cat-cows. Take an inhale, roll the shoulders back, drop the belly, lift the sits bones up, take the eye gaze up, and then exhale, press down and away, rounding up through the upper back. So continue moving through your cat-cows, linking your breath with the movement here. And then transitioning into dancing lion, just free organic movement, maybe circling through the hips or coming forward or back or side to side, just however it feels good here. And if you come across any tight or sticky spots, pause there. Seeing if you can release some of that. Take it back to tabletop here, stretching through the wrists, dial the fingers in towards you, leaning forward if this feels like too much, or leaning back if you want a little more here. Some cat-cows might feel good as well. And then flip the hand palms over, countering the stretch here. Begin to straighten the arms as much as accessible here. Pause, maybe wiggling the fingers or making fists or open and close. And then release. Bring the hands forward, knees together to touch. Tuck all 10 toes and sit back onto your heels for a toe stretch here. Shake out the wrists. Interlace your fingers to the webbing. Reach forward here. Take an inhale here. Exhale, round and curl. Draw your belly button to the spine. Find that deep C curve. Stack the spine all the way up. Biceps by the ears, shoulders down. Take an inhale here. Exhale, reach up and over to the right. Feeling a stretch through the left side here. Come back center, inhale here. Exhale, up and over to the left. Come back center. Bend the elbows. Place your hands right at the nape of the neck here. Hug the elbows back. Taking a neck stretch here, upper back. Little back bend here. Back of the head presses into the hands here. Starting to wake up through the upper back muscles and keep that connection to the breath. Come forward. Pat out the tops of the feet here. Maybe circle through the ankles. Extend your right arm forward like you're shaking someone's hand. Eye the needle flow, taking big circles back down, up and around here. Inhale at the top, exhale at the bottom, warming up through the shoulder joint. And when you've had enough, reverse the direction. Lifting up through that left side. On the next go around, pause at the top right here. Take a big inhale. Start to reach open. And then exhale, threading your needle, coming down onto the shoulder, maybe sliding forward, creating a little more space to deepen in that twist. You can stay right where you are, or you can take any variations, maybe extending your left arm forward, maybe reaching it up or working towards the half bind. If you're going for that balance challenge, the left leg extends back and maybe up to the ceiling, flexing the foot. Don't worry if you fall over, you're very close to the ground. And start to unwind here, placing the left hand underneath the shoulder, reach and extend the right arm back up, and then take your right bicep back to your ear, extend your left leg back, find a balancing tabletop, a little bit of core cultivation here. Inhale, reach, look past the fingers, exhale, round and curl, knee to elbow. 2 more, inhale, reach, exhale, a little smaller and tighter. Last one, inhale, reach, exhale, hold this one in, pause, take the hand, place it on the shin and draw a little tighter in. Reach and stretch back away and take it back to tabletop. Same flow, left side, left arm reaches forward, big circles, back down, up and around here. Inhale at the top, exhale at the bottom. And then when you're ready, reverse the direction. Noticing any differences on this side. And on the next go around, pause the top right here, take a big inhale, start to reach open. And then exhale, threading your needle here, and maybe making some adjustments, sliding the head forward, creating a little more space to deepen into that twist. Again, the right hand can stay where it is for support. You can reach it forward for a deeper stretch, or maybe it starts to reach up and around for that bind. Any variations you took on the other side, repeating, so if you're going for that balance, that right leg extends up, foot flexed, starting to work that eye gaze up towards the ceiling. Connect back in with the breath if it's changed. And then start to unwind. Press your right hand into the mat. Extend the left arm back up, reset here. And take your left bicep to your ear, reach the right leg back, find that balancing tabletop. Take an inhale, reach, look past the fingers, exhale, round and curl. 2 more, inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, a little smaller and tighter. Last one, inhale, reach. Exhale, hold it in, pause here, take your hand, place it on the shin, draw the knee up, and that tiny, small little package here, starting to wake up through the lower abdominals and the pelvic floor muscles, and then reach and stretch back away. Take it back to tabletop, maybe some cat-cows or dancing lions, just to reset right here. Finding puppy pose or down cat. Start to walk the hands forward here, opening up through the chest. On this variation, you want to keep your chin on the mat, so you're looking forward and not smushing the nose. Keep sliding forward until the chin touches. Like a little inchworm. Don't worry about the chest, it will eventually get there. Once you found that sweet spot, that intelligent edge, pause there. Maybe close your eyes. Connect back in with the breath with every inhale. Feel that contraction through the upper back, opening up through the front body. Slide all the way down onto your belly. Bring your big toes together to touch forehead down here. For the Cobra series, to warm up through the upper back here, preparing for our upward facing dog. We start with our baby Cobra. Bring your big toes together to touch, press into the tops of the feet. Line your fingertips up with your shoulders. The elbows and the forearms are lifted. Take an exhale, let out all the air. Anchor the hip bones, hook that pubic bone under. Then as you inhale, find a little lift and extension, working all from the upper back. You can always test, maybe lifting up the hand palms, draw the shoulders back to find a little more extension and keep the back of the neck long. And release. Second set, lifted Cobra, open up the feet hip width or wider. Keep pressing into all 10 toenails. Exhale, let out all the air, and then walk the hands down towards the rib cage. As you inhale, you're starting to press up a little bit higher this time, but keep the bend in the elbows, the shoulders down. If those shoulders start to creep up, that's that indication you've probably gone a little too high. And release. Third set, you can take a yogi's choice. Any other supine variation? I really like a bound baby Cobra. Interlacing my fingers behind here, bringing my feet back together. Roll the shoulders back, exhale, let out all the air, inhale. Lifting up here. You have any other variation if you feel like you're ready for your upward facing dog or want to take bow or locust, go for it. And release, press back and find a child's pose. If closed leg child's pose feels okay, go for that. If not, take whichever child's pose you took in the beginning. Come back to tabletop right here, spreading the fingers, Bringing the wrists right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tuck the toes here. So we're setting up for our downward facing dog, so the placement is so important. As you spread the fingers, take a slight grip of the fingertips. Press into the finger pads, the undersides of the knuckles here, then wrap the upper arm bones in. Press up away from the mat, rounding up between the shoulder blades here. Draw your belly button to the spine, and then see if the knees can lift off an inch or two, finding a hovering tabletop here. Turbo dog. Keep the knees bent and the heels lifted. Bring your belly back to your thighs, shifting the sits bones back, lengthening through the spine here. So it's like a combo between downward dog and down cat here. Take an inhale, straighten the legs. As you exhale, settling into your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths to make any adjustments you need to, maybe wagging your tail or walking your dog. Your downward dog, you want the weight shifted back. That doesn't mean the heels have to touch, but you want to be pressing back and reaching through them with that intention of them touching. Keep wrapping those upper arm bones in here. And then bring the feet together to touch. Sweep the right leg up. So bringing the right leg up, finding a one-leg dog, and take a few breaths here to just explore some movement in the right leg. Bend and extend, open and close, make circles, however it feels good. And then reach and extend the leg all the way up. Lift the left heel so you're elevating the pose, and then round and curl, knee to nose in the Tadasana, keeping the hips up and the heel into the seat. Reach and extend that right leg back, this time leveling off the hips, allowing your right hip to lower and pulling that left hip up and back. Flex the foot. Round and curl again, the knee into the chest, look between the hands and kindly step that right foot all the way through in a right side lunge. Gently lower down your left knee and then sweeping the arms up, finding a knee down crescent lunge right here. Take a few moments to just settle in, wrapping those outer hips in, hugging those inner thighs in towards each other. Take your right hand, grab a hold of the left wrist here, take an inhale here, exhale, little side stretch here, focusing on that contraction through the right side. Come back center, bend the elbows, cactus the arms, open up through the heart, the chest here, taking a little back bend. Bring the hands down, tuck the back toes, shift the hips back, finding your half splits or Ardha Hanumanasana here. The hip stays right over the knee and the front foot stays flexed here, drawing the toes back. If you have blocks at home, definitely recommend them, or something where you can place your hands a little higher up to bring the ground closer to you. Get creative. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine, exhale. Maybe hinging forward, keeping the chest and the heart open. Shift back forward to find your right side lunge with the knee down. Keep the left hand on the inside of the foot and then sweep the right arm up. Knee down, lunge twist here. You want to stay lifted up through the left side here and keep grounding into the inner edge of that right foot. So the twist is coming from the spine and you're opening up through the middle and upper part of the back. Bringing the hand down to frame the foot. Lift up the back leg here. So now you are in that low lunge. Walk the hands over to the left here to find a wide leg fold. Dial the toes slightly in so you're in a little pigeon toed here, and then soften the knees. Take a few breaths here, just hang heavy. And then walk the hands forward to find a wide leg downward dog here. Soften the knees and shift the weight back to the heels. Hammock is a great variation where the hands open up wider than your shoulders. You remove that imaginary yogi corset and just let the chest open up here. If you're congested in the shoulders and upper back, this is a great variation here. A nice place to explore. Don't be so focused on the legs being straight. Keep softening the knees here so that you can focus on lengthening through the spine. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders and then dial the fingers around and begin to walk through your legs, reversing your wide leg dog. You can soften your elbows here. Shift the weight to the balls of the feet, reaching the crown of the head to the mat here. Again, soften the knees here. The hamstrings are, and the big muscles in the body are like an angry person. If you hit an angry person, they're going to hit you right back here. Connect back in with the breath. These forward folds tend to be a little confrontational, and if you notice, you're going into that fight or flight mode. Check back in, find your breath, and smooth out any rough edges here. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Take an inhale, lengthen up halfway. Exhale, fold. Walk it around to the front. Find your right side lunge again. Plant the hands and step your right foot back to meet your left in your high plank. Pause here. You can always lower your knees down. Plank is a full body integration. Press up away from the mat, rounding up between the upper back here, drawing the abs in and up, engaging the quads. Moving through our first vinyasa, slow together. So option to bend the knees right here. Shift forward, shoulders in front of the wrists here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bend the elbows. Keeping the elbows right over the wrists and not letting the shoulders go past the elbows. Inhale, press up and through to lifted cobra or upward facing dog here. Back of the neck stays long, shoulders down. And then exhale, press back to downward dog or passing through child's pose right here. Settle back into your downward dog here. Notice any differences than the first one as you begin to open up, but keeping that alignment you set at the beginning. Bring the feet together to touch, other side. Sweep your left leg up. Take a few breaths here to explore some movement through the left leg. Bend and extend, open, close. It doesn't have to be the same as the other side here. Then reach that right heel up and round and curl, knee to nose, Nasasana. Press up away from the mat, round into the upper back. And then extend it back, again, leveling off the hips here. Drawing your right hip up and back. And round again forward, look between the hands and kindly step the left foot all the way through, gently lowering down your right knee. Sweeping the arms up, finding a knee, down, crescent lunge right here. We're not perfect. Reach the arms up and then take your left hand, grab a hold of the right wrist. Take an inhale here, exhale, side reach up and over. Keep hugging your left inner thigh towards the midline, grounding into the inner edge of the foot. Come back center, bend the elbows, cactus the arms here. Open up through the chest, the heart, drawing the shoulder blades together, maybe a little more open than the first one. Bring the hands down, tuck the back toes, shift the hips back, finding your half splits here. I said about blocks or anything that you can prop your hands up to help bring the ground closer to you will help to lengthen the spine here. So we're trying to eliminate the roundness in the upper part of the back. Keep that front foot flexed, activating through the outer part of the leg here. Inhale, lengthen up, exhale, maybe hinging. So you want to work within that intelligent edge in the body, and it's always going to be different. So have a little patience and compassion with yourself. Something that worked yesterday might not work today, but maybe try something new. Shift back forward to find your left side lunge. Keep the right hand where it is, and then sweep the left arm up, lunge twist here. Let the weight be equally shared between your hand and your foot. Keep wrapping those outer hips in. So if you feel like you're sinking down, come up to the fingertips or place something underneath the hand here. Bring that left hand down. Lift up the back leg, low lunge here, and then walk it over to the right here. Find your second set of your wide leg fold. So the toes are dialed in, the heels are out, knees soften here. Hang heavy, and then reach the arms back behind you. Take a bind. I recommend using a strap or a towel here so that you have more space to open up through the shoulders and upper part of the back. When we're so focused on bringing the hands together, we're limited with our range of movement and how far we can go. I almost always use a towel here. Shift the weight forward to the balls of the feet. Reach the crown of the head to the mat here. Check back in with the breath. Breath is so important here in this practice, more important than any of these poses, anything the body's doing. But that connection to the breath is what's going to help you stay grounded, present, mindful, and in your body. Release the bind, taking a peace finger bind on the big toes. Pasarita Padagustasana here. You have the option for a deeper variation to slide the hand palms all the way to the outer edges of the feet here. I'm going to go with the peace fingers today. Inhale, lengthen up halfway. Once you have that bind, exhale, hinge forward, soften the elbows to lengthen the spine, reaching the crown of the head towards the mat here. The sits bones are lifted. You want to think like a turtle coming out of the shell, drawing the shoulders down here. Release, bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Take an inhale, lengthen up halfway. Exhale, fold, walk it back around to the front. Find your lunge and then step the foot back to meet Back at the back of the mat and moving through your vinyasa. Take whatever variation you need, maybe just holding a knees down, chaturanga. Or skip it all together. Rest back, downward facing dog. Pause here. And then bring the feet together to touch. Lift the heels up high, so you're on your tippy toes. Start to take little baby steps to the front of the mat. Connecting with the pelvic floor muscles, the knees can be soft. Once you get to the front of the mat here, heel toe your feet out 2 fist width distance. Soften the knees. Grab opposite elbows and just hang heavy right here, grounding into both, all 4 corners of both feet. For a deeper variation, you can bring the hands behind you, or with the hands behind you, take the hands and bring them to opposite shins here, drawing your belly to your thighs here, lifting the sits bones here, releasing any tension in the shoulders. So a few different options to play around with. Again, if this feels like a good place to be, stay right there. Release the arms and then slowly start to round up, 1 vertebra at a time. Letting your head be the very last thing to come up, and once it's stacked, roll the shoulders up and back. Bring the hand palms forward, finding Tadasana, mountain pose. Finding Tadasana here, mountain pose. Just take a moment, close your eyes here. Check back in with your breath. Check back in with the body. Reach the arms up overhead. Bring the hand palms together, bend the elbows, and bring the hands to heart center. Bow the head and just take a moment here to thank yourself for being here. I know it's not easy to be motivated to do a online yoga class at home. That accountability of being in a class isn't there. So just take a moment to thank yourself and remind yourself that you are doing a great job. Open up the eyes, reach the arms up overhead, allowing your right hand to grab a hold of the left wrist. Take an inhale here, exhale, side stretch up and over, standing Ardha Chandrasana. Make it back center, and then switch other hand. Take an inhale here, exhale, reach up and over. Come back center here. Taking a standing back bend, you can keep the biceps by the ears here for a deeper variation. If the shoulders aren't feeling that good, cactus the arms here, or placing your hands on your lower back with your fingertips up, drawing the elbows in. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, start to lift back. Sternum lifts, chin slightly lifts, maybe the eye gaze back. The focus is on the upper back, not the lower back here. Once you found that spot, tiny little sips of air, keep that connection with the breath. Stack back up, hands on the hips, take an inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. And again, catching another peace finger bind on the big toes, Padangusthasana, or that deeper variation, Padahastasana, with the hands sliding right all the way underneath the feet here. Toes are wiggling on the wrist creases. Take an inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, fold, belly to thighs. Drop those shoulders down, bending the knees as much as you need to release the hamstrings and glutes. And release. Heel toe the feet back together to touch. Take an inhale, maybe pressing into your mat blocks or into your shins as you lengthen up halfway. And then vocal exhale, fold. 2 more like that. Inhale, Ardha, halfway up, exhale. Last one, inhale, and exhale. Plant the hands and walk, jump, or float. If you're jumping, you're taking it right back to your chaturanga, and then moving through your vinyasa, making any necessary modifications for your body, and connecting breath with movement. We meet in a downward facing dog right here. Sweep the right leg up to the ceiling, open up the hip, bend the knee here, and round and curl, taking your right knee to your left tricep. You want to think you have a seatbelt on and the hips aren't coming with you. Reach and extend the right leg all the way back up. And then round and curl, right knee, right tricep, cinch through that right waistband. Reach it all the way up. Round and curl, look between the hands, step it all the way through. Right side lunge, root down, rise up, high crescent lunge right here. You can always drop the knee down as we did in the first flow. Fire up through the back leg here, wrap those outer hips in. Drop the tailbone, take an inhale here, exhale. Hinge, Ardha Anjaneyasana. So you're going about 1/3 of the way here. Take it back up, and then open up warrior 2. Check the feet. You might need to open your stance and make a little adjustments, heel to arch alignment. Big wide open stance here, bending into the front knee. 3 pumping warriors. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, back down, warrior 2. 2 more, inhale, reach.
Exhale, back down. Last one. Hug muscle to bone, follow that length. Exhale. And then flip the front hand palm, reach forward and reverse your warrior. So your right bicep comes to ear, your left hand slides down the leg. Bending into the front knee. Take it back up to warrior two and right into extended side angle. Right forearm, right thigh. Left bicep to ear. Stay lifted up through that underside body here. This is a great place to stay, but try not to sink down into the right shoulder. If you want to take a deeper variation, maybe bring the hand to a block or working towards that half or full bind. This is a great place to play too, if Bird of Paradise or Nirlambas in your practice. A couple more breaths here. Grounding to the outer edge of that back foot, lifting up through the arch and inner thigh. And take it back up to warrior two here. Cartwheel the hands down to frame that front foot. Spin up onto the ball of that back foot. Sweep that right leg up and back. And bring it down to meet the other foot. Moving through your vinyasa option to take any variations. Maybe that one leg vinyasa trianga. And press back here. And walk, jump, or float to the front of the mat right here. Feet together to touch. Either reverse swan dive up or roll up one vertebra at a time here. Reach the arms up overhead. Take an inhale here. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold here. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up, finding Utkatasana, chair pose here. Knit the front ribs in. Find that nice neutral pelvis. Weight shifts to the heels, biceps by the ears. If the shoulders are bugging you, cactus the arms. Lift and spread all 10 toes here. And then place them all down onto the mat. Finding half chair, Ardha Utkatasana. Trying to get a flat back, keeping the knees over the ankles here. Neck in line with the spine. Maybe that challenge if you want to turn up that intensity dial, lifting the heels, finding a floating chair. Is an option to play if crow is in your practice. Go for it, holding here, or maybe just finding that forward fold. Take your time here. Inhale, lengthen up halfway. Exhale, walk, jump, or float back, moving through your vinyasa. Vinyasas are always optional, but you might get more out of it just holding a knees down chaturanga. All right, home stretch flow right here. Feet together, sweep the left leg up, open up the hip, bend the knee here. You want to think you have an imaginary seatbelt on, round and curl, taking that knee to the opposite tricep without the hips going with you. And then reach and extend all the way back up. Take an inhale here. Exhale, round and curl, bringing the knee to the same tricep, cinching through that sideways spine. Reach all the way back and up. And then round and curl. The higher the hips are, the more accessible this transition will be. Step it all the way through. Root down, rise up. High crescent lunge right here. Take a moment, smooth out any rough edges of the breath. Fire up that back leg here. Take an inhale here, exhale. Hinge forward a third of the way. One long line from the crown of the head all the way through that back heel. Eye gaze out. Take it back up to that high crescent lunge and then open up warrior two. So check the feet, heel to arch alignment. We build from the ground up, so if the feet are off, it's gonna throw the knees, the hips, the shoulders. Open the arms wide here, bending into the front knee, 3 pumping warriors. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up, hug muscle to bone. Exhale, bend back, warrior two. 2 more, connecting breath with movement. Last one. Take it back, warrior two. Pause here, flip that front hand palm, reach forward, and then reverse your warrior. Bending the front knee, reaching that bicep to the ear. And take it back to warrior two, right into extended side angle. Forearm to thigh here, bicep to ear. And again, this is a great place to stay. But if you want to go a little deeper, block or something underneath that front hand will help. You want to stay lifted here. Or maybe working towards that half bind. If you're going for that half bind, you're grabbing a hold of something. It can be your pants, your shirt, your side, your skin. And working the shoulder back. Staying here for a few more breaths, settling into the pose. And that connection to your breath helps you to stay here in your body. The more that longer you can stay in the pose, the more beneficial. Take it back up to warrior two right here. Take an inhale here, exhale. Cartwheel the hands down to frame that front foot. Spin up to the ball of that back foot. Sweep that leg up and back. Lower it down to meet the other and moving through your vinyasa here. Back, downward facing dog. Walk the hands back to the feet at the back of the mat here. Slowly round up one vertebra at a time right here. So, little standing pose before we take it down to our mats. I'm gonna say yogi's choice. You can take tree, you can take dancer's pose, you can take eagle. I'm just gonna do a basic tree right here. So, ground into the left foot, starting with the right foot. So think like little steps. If balance is tricky, hips aren't open, ground into the ball of that back foot, bring the hands to heart center. This is a great place to stay. Focus on the breath. If you want to take it a little more, maybe the foot comes to the shin. Again, if you want to, next little step is bringing the foot to the inner thigh right here. Just be sure not to press directly onto the knee joint. The foot presses into the thigh and the foot. Create that resistance, and then like you're zipping up a tight pair of jeans or a wetsuit. Hug everything in here. Stay here, you can close your eyes, you can move your branches, maybe a reverse namaste behind. Keep that connection to the breath, and also the drisky, your focal point, will help calm the central nervous system to keep you balanced. And release, shake it out. Moving to the other side here, so taking whatever variation and pose that you did, trying to create that balance. So again, starting right here, if balance is just feeling a little off and the hips aren't feeling good, this is a great place to start. Or maybe here, or bringing the foot to the inner thigh. And of course, you're gonna notice that one side always feels a little less balanced than the other. So don't get too caught up into that story. Just focus on the breath. Figure out what this side needs differently than the other side. And then taking any arm variations you did on the first side here, growing the branches, maybe closing the eyes, or taking that reverse namaste. And release, shake it out, reach the arms up overhead, take an inhale here. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, walk it out. If you're dying for one more vinyasa right here, go for it. Make it your most mindful one yet. And then meeting in a downward facing dog. Pause here. Just notice how different this downward dog might feel from the first one as the body begins to open up. Bring the feet together to touch. Bend the knees, look forward, and then walk, jump, float it all the way. Have a seat right here. Extend the legs forward. Move the fleshy part away from the hips so you're right on the sits bones. Paschimottanasana. So we're coming down to the seat, finding Paschimottanasana, or forward fold here. Move the fleshy part away from the hips so that you're grounded into the sits bones here. So we've already done this position twice, standing with open feet, with the wide leg fold here. So same principles. If you can take that piece from your spine, go for it. If you need to bend your knees, do that as well. You can always use a strap or a towel here, or placing your hands behind your shins. Open up through the chest, the heart. Take an inhale here. As you hinge forward, we're trying to prevent this from happening. We want to bring our belly to the thighs and keep the spine lengthening here. Open up through the chest, trying to pull the chest through the arms here. Take an inhale here. Exhale, find a little more length, grounding through the sits bones. And then fold forward, point the toes, press into the tops of the feet, bring the feet together, reach the arms forward, take an inhale here. As you exhale, slowly start to lower all the way down onto your back, one vertebra at a time right here. Draw your right knee into your chest, interlace your fingers to the webbing below the knee. Take an inhale here, exhale, hugging it in here. And then drawing the knee over to the left here, taking a reclining belly twist here. Extend the arm forward. This is a great stretch, and there's different variations. You can keep the shoulder down and work the knee down, drawing the hip away for a little more outer hip psoas stretch. Or you can lift the shoulder, bring the knee down, maybe cactus the arm, maybe prop a block or pillow underneath the shoulder to open up for more of the shoulder and upper back. You can also eagle wrap the legs here, and that double bind is a little more accessible. If you're feeling a little tense or tight through the lower back, this is a great variation here. And then come back center, and release. Drawing the other knee into the chest here, left knee in, take an inhale here, exhale, hugging. And then drawing the leg over to the side. Again, the different variations, the shoulders down, eye gaze over that left arm, bringing that right knee down and pulling your left knee down. So pulling the hip away here, or knee down, shoulder lifts with that cactus, or that eagle wrap of the legs here to release anything in the lower back. And come back to center. Hug both knees into the chest right here. Maybe gently rock side to side. If you want to take a happy baby here, grabbing the outer edges of both feet here, keeping the hips grounded. Maybe a reclining straddle, stretch, grabbing peace finger bind on the big toes. You start opening one leg at a time, maybe both legs. Again, this reclining straddle stretch, just like the eagle, is a little more accessible when we're in that reclining position. And release, bring both legs up to the ceiling, hands by the side. Here for your legs up a wall. So the beautiful thing about practicing this at home is your legs can actually be up your wall doing this. You could add a pillow or a block underneath the hips for a little more supported variation. And then slowly start to bend both knees. Place the feet flat right here. Just allow a moment, that little tingling you feel is that kind of circulation going back through the lower half of the body right here. And if there are any other poses you are feeling your body needs before your Shavasana, please feel free to take them. But if you're ready, finding your final Shavasana. You're on the mat, getting yourself comfortable here. Couple options. If you feel like you need a little more grounding or support, place your hand palms down. If you feel like you need that stability, if you are ready to just be open, release anything that's come up that's no longer serving your greater good, or you're ready to just be open for what the universe has for you, then the palms up with the heart open. And as you close your eyes, softening the eyelids, releasing any tension between your eyebrows at your third eye, coming back to your natural breath and just allowing yourself to find that release and that surrender here, this final pose. And if it resonates with you, and only if it resonates with you, placing your right hand on your heart center and your left hand on your belly. Allow a moment to reconnect back in with yourself, with your breath, with your heartbeat. Here. And then slowly starting to bring both knees into your chest here, maybe gently rocking side to side. Making your way over to your, pick a side, doesn't really matter. Here on one side here in that fetal position here. Take a moment again to thank yourself for being present, for being mindful, for taking this time to do something for your body that is so necessary right now. Keeping your eyes closed, press yourself up to a comfortable cross-legged seated position here. And bringing your hands to heart center right here. And taking your hands up to your third eye. May your thoughts be clear, steady, and present. Hands to your lips. May your words always be kind and compassionate. Hands to your heart center. May your heart remain open and honest, and know that the answer always lies within you. Be the change you wish to see. The light within me honors and salutes that same beautiful bright light in all of you. Namaste.